Oh my god, let's try
Did you
something.
see what happened on TV
Oh
last
yeah, I
night?
always watch.
Oh my god.
It's so fun. It was so
Yeah,
good.
I watched that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi guys,
Hi guys.
I'm Stevie,
I'm Talena.
and this is Twin Talk.
Woo!
Woo! Dancing with the Stars, episode 2. To me, I'm just gonna be right out honest before we even get started. It was sort of lackluster.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. It was Latin night. Some of the songs I felt, I don't know, like you would think that with with Latin, the songs would be better, but some of the songs felt kind of slow. And
Oh.
I don't know. There was we'll get into it and we'll talk about it because there was a lot and there were some really good dances, but then you're right. Like some of it was just really lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing: is Latin night is always sort of my least favorite night.
Mhm.
Like the samba, samba's my least favorite dance to watch.
Mhm.
The cha-cha is like whatever. The salsa can be cool, and we did see a cool salsa last night, but most of the time, if you don't execute it right, I don't like the salsa. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
like I
Latin
feel
night's
like the
always
dances, well, and the samba is so hard, and I feel like it's probably one of the hardest dances to learn. So why do they have it so early on in the season when people are still
like
kind
learning.
of finding their footing? Like I think it would be cool. Like the samba isn't my personal favorite, but it is such a hard dance that it would be almost better to give the contestants the samba later on in the competition after they've
Yeah.
honed in some skills.
And if they're gonna do a theme, if they're gonna do Latin night,
Yeah.
then have everybody do one of the same three or whatever. Because we had a random rumba and we had a random tango.
Yeah.
And not that those aren't Latin dances, but like when they say we're doing Latin night, they're literally saying we're doing like the samba, the cha-cha, the
Yeah.
salsa, sort of like throw in those random ones. I don't know. I feel like it just isn't fair and it's sort of, I don't know. I don't know.
It's true. It's not fair. And it is,
Not that
I
much
hate it
change.
when everybody has these random dances. Like you said, choose three and then everybody gets something out of that category.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? Is that it's almost an unfair advantage because
Uh-huh.
um, some dances are harder than other dances. So if you're
Yeah.
giving a samba to somebody, those samba rolls are really hard. I think it
Yeah.
was Ariana Maddox who said she felt like a dead body. And I'm like, yeah, that's what people look like when they do the samba if they don't do it correctly,
Right.
you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like it's sort of an unfair advantage to have those different dances because then
Mhm.
you're not putting everybody into the same category. But I digress. The opener, I loved the opening dance. It was choreographed by Danielle and Pasha, so I thought that was sweet.
Cute. And it was so crisp.
Oh, I mean, but those were all the pros.
I know they were all the pros, but I don't know. There was just something about it that they all were on point.
Well, yeah, and I feel like Danielle especially, her choreography is so like pop,
Yeah.
right? So it makes
I
sense
love
that
her
that dance.
choreo.
Oh, she's a great choreographer. So it makes sense that that dance had that crispiness, and I thought it was just so sweet. All the couples and were sort of together. Val and Jenna were together. Pasha and Danielle danced together. Like I thought that was just a sweet little ode. And uh, I have to say, I hated Julianne's dress.
Brady loved it. So I watched it with Brady and Grandma Margaret, but you know,
Sorry,
um,
Brady.
I could have done without the sleeves. You know how I feel about big puffy sleeves like that.
Ooh, I
I
just
think if the sleeves weren't there, a simple like red dress, because I thought Alfonso's suit was
yeah,
nice. I thought that, Carrie Ann always looks gorgeous.
yeah.
Bruno, I'm
I loved
loving
his
his
jacket.
suit with his see-through shirts this season. Like, hello, thank you. And Derek, I loved his like how it hooked on the side.
Yeah, and he always has
Um,
fun lapels.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm always weird about those big sleeves, and it's not my favorite. Overall, though, the costuming, I mean, I know it's only week 2, knock on wood, but
Mhm.
the costuming has been so much better compared to some years.
I
Even for the
agree.
samba, like, we'll get into some of the outfits, but some of those fringe outfits can be cringe, and it's like, I loved Charity's green dress.
Oh,
I
I know.
loved
And that's how I feel about Latin night too, is that's another thing that I don't like usually about Latin night is I feel like I just hate the samba costumes. I hate the little poof thing, like the little poof
Mhm.
tutu in the back. Like I don't know. I've just never liked
Yeah.
that type of Latin dance costume. But you're right. I actually liked most of the outfits last night. I thought the people who opened were Lele Pons and Brandon. They did
Mhm.
a samba. And I loved that orange color
Ah,
fringe pants.
yep, so
Um,
good.
that orange looked great on her. I love that color orange. So yeah, let's just get right into the first dance, can we?
Yep, yep,
All right. So Lele Pons. I felt like she had a lot more confidence than
yep.
last week for
Mhm.
sure. But I don't feel, and I felt like this with a lot of contestants last night, is that they didn't follow through with all of their moves. Like
Yep.
stopped like almost there. Um, Especially when it came to like, taking out of a spin and then hitting it or like things like that. Because what like last week when we talked about posing, you have to work through the pose and not hit the pose
Yeah.
necessarily. But they weren't working all the way through the pose. So I think that definitely showed. She definitely seemed in her element. That was definitely
Mhm.
her style. I thought it was some of Brandon's better choreography.
Okay, yeah, because I thought Brandon did a lot better, and I agreed with Carrie Ann that, like I said last week, I think Brandon is going to significantly improve, and I'm going to like him more and more. I think he's just growing up. I think he's honing into his teaching skills.
Mhm.
At this point, he's been with Dancing with the Stars for e- e- a couple of seasons now, so if he's not growing, that's a problem. And I do see the growth in him. Now, is he my favorite choreographer? Maybe not. Maybe that could change. I don't know. Once I see Mark Ballas in the audience, I'm like, everything goes out the window.
So good.
Everybody sucks compared to
I
him.
know. I know.
And but you know what? I actually kind of really liked his choreography. I thought they had a good partnership. I thought she, was giving face. I think a lot of this episode, people were working on like almost like their stage presence,
Mm.
but you're doing some of the hardest dances. So
You really got to be thinking about
um
the technique.
yeah, exactly. Um I mean, she needs some work, but she's capable.
Oh, she can move. Like she understands her body for sure.
Right.
Um,
And so, yeah, she needs some technical steps, but I mean, she gave face.
yeah.
She was the first one right out of the gate, which I'm sure is nerve-wracking, even though, this is the second time around. It's still nervous.
Oh, true.
And she's cute as a button.
Oh yeah, she's cute. Yeah, I mean she got straight sevens.
Yep.
And I, like you said, I'm happy that Brandon sort of stepped it up because he got a note last week being like, you
Yep.
gotta step, like,
And that's
making Carrie
rare.
Ann said, you gotta
That's
step it up.
rare.
Yeah. And so, I feel like he did straight sevens. Okay. That was a great first dance.
Yep.
Next was Tyson Beckford and Jenna. They did a salsa. Woo!
Okay, let me start.
Okay. You start, girl.
First of all, I loved the choreo. Those
Okay.
ass bongos, those ass bongos. I mean, forget about it. I cannot wait to watch that again. She's like,
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop,
That was
boop.
so
Like,
funny.
I was just deceased. I was like, Jenna coming in clutch with choreography. Like,
I
she is
know.
such an amazing choreographer.
Oh.
Um, he was better than last week. I'll give
Okay.
him that.
Mhm.
He was better than last week,
Yeah.
but he's so flat-footed, and you could tell that, like, he was more into it and more relaxed, but, like, damn, his technique just really isn't
It's
there.
noted. Yeah.
Um, and I just don't feel, and I could be wrong,
Mhm.
but I just don't feel like he's ever going to give me that finesse that I'm gonna need. And I think I compared him last week to Camaro. I can't
Yeah.
remember how to
Yeah. Yeah.
pronounce his name.
Mhm.
Camaro or
I know.
Camaro from Queer Eye. And I love him. I think he's I loved watching him on Queer Eye, and he's a great guy. And I really thought, I don't know why, um,
You had a feeling.
like he was going to bring it, and then he never got there. And that's kind of how I feel with Tyson. But it's hard because I love Jenna's choreography, even with somebody that can't dance as well,
Mm-hmm.
does it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because but the thing with Jenna is she still never dances around her, for the most part. She never dances around her partner. She still includes her partner, even if his moves have to be more simple, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Where somebody like, what's Lindsay's sister's name? Oh my God, Riley. Like Riley dances around her partner.
Yeah.
She's young, and we'll get to her. But Jenna's just an awesome teacher, and she's such an amazing choreographer that she can do no wrong in my eyes.
See, I agree with everything that you said. He definitely needs to work on his technique. I thought they played to his strength, which was strength.
Mhm.
Like lifting her up and throwing her around and stuff. But I actually thought she did dance around him a little bit.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, not like Riley at all,
Mhm.
but she definitely danced around him a little bit. Um, I I personally felt like he stopped, like before each lift, he would like
Mhm.
pause, think about it, take a breath, and then do it. And
Yeah.
I, it was like a microsecond. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You can tell, you can see all that.
But I will say that's what Derek was saying. Derek gave a note to everybody, and he was like, everybody seems like they're ahead of the beat or behind. Like, he was like,
Mhm.
something weird is happening. The floor last night was the slippery floor night. There's always one week where the floor is just everybody's freaking slipping. And you're like, did you
Yeah,
put butter on this fucking floor?
yeah.
Like,
There's
and
a lot of
week two
missteps.
was it. Week two was it.
Well, hopefully it's the only week.
Well, and that's
Um,
the thing too, is I'm hoping that they get all these little kinks that they have, like, Mauricio when he forgot um what he was doing in the middle of the song. Like, I'm hoping that all these little flubs, like they're just kind of getting out in the beginning, and then we're just gonna have this amazing, great season.
yeah, I hope so too. Tyson and Jenna got straight sixes. That's, a far cry from what they got last week, which was 12s, all
The
fours.
ass bongos though,
I
Stevie.
know. It was funny.
They
It was,
were so good. Like
yeah,
Grandma Margaret, who is 90 years old, and Brady and I were just like hooting and hollering. We were like, "Oh my God."
no,
We loved it.
it was definitely, I had to enjoy it. Oh,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Next was Barry Williams and PETA. They did a cha-cha. This is his birthday this week. Happy birthday, Barry. He's a Libra.
Hmm.
Love me a Libra. Um, I felt like he really held his own. The choreography was so simple, but it was executed.
Yep.
I mean, he's flat-footed, let's be honest. Like, he's very flat-footed, but he's so fun to watch. He's
Okay, yeah, I love Barry. He's one of those people that he is a little flat-footed. He's one of those rare people where he is kind of flat-footed, but he has finesse.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's weird,
And
right?
that's so rare because like sometimes that's like a weird combo. It's like, how do you have this finesse, but you can't get the technique down? I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love watching him. I thought he had a good save at the end because he kind of dropped her a little bit, but
Yeah.
I loved watching him. I mean, it was a slow cha-cha, but like he brought me so much joy watching him. And I'm surprised because, I was like, Barry will be off first. He's old. Like, I guess I'm ageist
You aged
because, yeah, because I really do enjoy him. And like, yeah, do I think he's going to win? No. But I did throw in some votes for him because I just like watching him, at
Yeah.
least for the first couple of weeks before the competition really gets like heavy. But I will say this season, the competition isn't as intense as the last past couple of seasons.
I agree. I mean, I feel that I think we talked about this last week. I really feel like for the most part, the level of dancing it's a level playing field. Like we
Yeah.
went into last year with not a level playing field. We went into the year before that with JoJo Siwa with not a level playing field. You had people in those those seasons that were professional dancers already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't ballroom, but it doesn't matter. Like,
Mhm.
it matters, you know, they always try to make it a big story. Well, ballroom is different, and it is, but you still understand your body, which is step one. You still know how to
Yeah.
perform, which is step two. You know what I mean? Like, so this year I really feel like we have a pretty good level playing field, and I feel like that's what's making it almost feel like old school Dancing with the Stars.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm into it because then it allows for so much growth. And you don't get a lot of growth with the people, you know, you always get a diamond in the rough, like last season, Charlie, like she started off at a 10 and somehow she magically kept, not magically, she worked hard, but like kept getting better. And same with JoJo Siwa, where sometimes a lot of people come in at 10 and they're always killing it, but it's just a 10, you know.
Yep.
So it's rare to get those people who are already so good and then go above and beyond.
Yep.
But I think we're going to see a lot of growth this season, which I'm into. I agree with Bruno. Bruno said it was too staccato. And
Mm.
cha-cha, you know, it needs like the hips, you know, and he was
Yeah.
very bop, bop, you know,
Yep.
but I loved watching him. He got straight fives. My sound was cutting out. Was your sound cutting out on your end?
Our sound cut out once.
Okay, my sound cut out a couple times, and I didn't know if it was like a weird glitch in the matrix on my end, or if it was like an overall network thing.
One
I
of
wanted to ask you.
must have been a network thing.
It had to have been a network thing, right? Just wanted to ask
Yeah.
you. Surprise announcement: Michael Strahan is guest judge next week for Motown Week.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Yeah, Michael Strahan is going to be a guest judge next week, and the theme is Motown.
I wonder if since there'll be 4 judges, if they'll bring, because like they didn't. We'll get to the elimination, obviously,
Yeah.
but they're not doing the judges save.
There's a lot of changes this year. They don't have a troupe this year, which is why we don't see Alexis War. We don't see that one girl that we didn't like, the blondie.
Why don't they have a troupe?
I don't know. I don't know why they don't have a troupe, but they don't have a troupe this year, and they're not bringing back, at least for now, the judges' scores. I did some research last night.
Why did they say why?
Nope, there was no reason. They're just not doing it. It could possibly come back later on in the season. I think the network is just testing it out to sort of see
What America thinks.
what America thinks, because we've had so many years of, you know, it being up to the judges now that maybe they're trying to go more old school. I don't know, but they're not doing the judges saves this year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, we'll see, because I mean, and we'll get to the elimination, but if there was a judge save, the elimination would have been what the elimination was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll get to elimination for sure.
Yeah.
Who was next, Selena?
It was Adrian and Brittany. They did a samba.
Mm-hmm.
Right off, and I love Brittany. You know I love Brittany.
Yeah.
Like right out of the gate, something just felt not right about it, and it seemed off. I don't know. Like he gave it his all, but something was weird, and maybe the choreo was. I mean, I liked the choreo, but I don't know. Just something from beginning to end for me just never clicked into place for me. And I don't know if maybe, you know, sometimes it's hard when you watch with other people, like multiple people, just because there's a lot of like factors happening everywhere. So maybe I just wasn't honed in as well as I would have liked to been for this episode 2. Even though I had so much fun watching with Grandma Margaret.
Totally.
But maybe I just wasn't totally like locked in, because like I had missed Michael Strahan. Like I had no idea that happened. So, you know, obviously I missed things here or there, but yeah, I don't know. Something just never felt right out of the gate, and I never was able to get into the dance. And then the dance was over, and I just felt like I was detached from everything that was happening. Does that make sense?
Well, 2 things. I understand what you're saying. Technique wise, I felt like his arms were too lax. Like you have to have that samba bounce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely didn't have it. I felt like he was overthinking on the step touches. He was so heavy footed. He was like pounding into the ground. I'm like, calm down, dude. Like, his arms were really lax on the samba walks. But have you listened to Sex, Lies, and Spray Tans yet this week with Sharna Burgess?
No.
So I was listening to Cheryl Burke's podcast, Sex, Lies, and Spray Tans, and she was talking to Sharna, and they were like, we feel so bad for Britt. And I was like, what's happening with Britt? And they had been talking about, past contestants that had made people feel uncomfortable or made them feel uncomfortable, and how the producers deal with it, and how once you sign a contract, like you have to dance with who you're dancing with, and it doesn't matter their background or, whatever. So I did some digging into Adrian Peterson, and he actually was indicted on a felony for injuring his 4-year-old while disciplining him with a switch. And the 4-year-old had cuts all over his body, and there were some charges made against him. And so the question that they were talking about in Sex, Lies, and Spray Tans was, as a mother, because Sharna's a mother now, how do you work with a partner who, has sexual assault allegations against him, or has felony charges against him, or has, misconduct of a child against them, like as a mother, And Sharna's like, we don't have a choice. We signed a contract. Like, obviously if I had free will, like I wouldn't do it. But once contract, like you just have to protect yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, go to the producers. They'll have you, they'll try to protect you, like X, Y, and Z, whatever the case is. But I was like, okay, so I wonder if their relationship it feels disconnected because Britt feels uncomfortable with him as a partner, or I don't know. I was just trying to sort of string it together, because when they were like, we feel so bad for Britt, I was like, why?
Are they allowed to, like, do you think Sharna will ever be on Dancing with the Stars again? Because it feels like if she's doing a podcast like this,
Like
they
still,
might. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Cheryl Burke, even though she keeps saying like, I love Dancing with the Stars and I wish nothing but the best for it. Like, I feel like she's dishing hard on it. And if I was Dancing with the Stars producer, I wouldn't ask her back. I mean, I know Cheryl retired, but I think it was also sort of because she was sort of
fed up
out, because I mean, she was pushed out because I guess she was vocal about, the backgrounds of Dancing with the Stars. And I'm not here to say that any reality TV show is good and, overly kind to its employees at all times. I've worked before. I work in the industry. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I understand, but I don't know. I wouldn't bring her back as a producer. Be like, shit too much on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Anyway, I don't know what Sharna's future is with Dancing with the Stars, because it hasn't only been on this podcast. It's been on her podcast, Oldish. She's really told how she's felt,
I haven't listened to any of these podcasts, so I don't know.
Oh, you should listen. I mean, Cheryl, I don't really care that much about Cheryl. I don't think she's like the best interviewer in the world. I pretty much just listen for the guests that she had. I'm not interested in Cheryl Burke and her interpretation. Like, I never have been. I'm just not a Cheryl Burke. Like, I don't think if we met in real life, like we would be friends. Like, I just don't feel like we're the type of people that would get along together. But she's had some really interesting people. Like, she had Sharna Burgess, she had Trista, the very first Bachelorette, who was also on the very first season of Dancing with the Stars. She had the Glee girl that got voted off really early, Heather. So she's had some interesting people on that I enjoyed listening to and getting to know sort of their side of things. But I mean, to get back into it, Adrian and Britt got straight 5s.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think the football players always have their huge band of like voters, and everybody loves Britt. So
if they're not really rooting for him, they're rooting for Brittany.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I loved her doing her little sign language. She's so sweet.
I just adore her. She's a gem. Next was Mira and Gleb. They did a salsa. She had dedicated the dance to her really good friend who was also her salsa teacher, who had passed away, very sad. And you could tell she really danced the dance for her. Was the technique there? No, I felt like her technique was way better last week.
Yeah.
I don't like the choreo. I'm sorry, Gleb, you fucking suck. I don't like his choreo.
Yeah, he's very hit or miss and usually miss for me. Like every once in a while he'll have a gem and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I really like that choreo." But for the most part, his style just isn't my style.
Mhm.
But like good old Len Goodman, may he rest in peace. When Gleb did traditional, dances, Len always loved it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I like a little bit more flair, and Gleb just doesn't really give that to me. I
Yeah.
really love Mira. I think she's cute as a button.
Oh, I do too.
She did have a lot of missteps.
A
She
lot
needs
of mixed steps.
action. I think this would be a good redemption dance for her if she makes it that far,
Mhm.
which I feel like she will. I think she has a good fan base, and just technique wise, she's another person that can get there. She just needs to have like a breakthrough moment because you can tell she's still kind of scared and
Yeah.
small. And she's such a tall, broad lady, and like with these beautiful legs and long limbs,
Yeah.
like she can do it. She has the body for it. She she can get the technique. I think the nerves are really just getting the best of her right now.
Well, and that's what Carrie Ann said. Carrie Ann was like, stop. Stop saying you're not a dancer like you are now. Go out and fucking dance.
Yeah.
You know?
She needs to just let go and then she'll be really good. So I'm hoping week 3 she can get there, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you can do it. You have a limited amount of time to do it, so you gotta fucking do it.
Exactly. You got no choice.
And you have no choice. Like, you can't, like, Luna Lovegood, I don't know why I freaking forget her name, but she got lucky because she
Hi.
kept on getting pushed through. Hi, Paco. Getting pushed through, get pushed through, pushed through. And then, she finally had a breakout dance kind of later on in the game. Not everybody's going to get that chance. So you
Exactly.
need to get it together sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. They got straight sixes. I'm hoping to see a little bit more from her next week, like you said. Glad get your shit together. Your choreography needs to be better. Next was Sochi and Val. They did a salsa. Um,
Mhm.
I I loved this dance,
Yeah.
but I do feel like it's such an unfair advantage to not wear heels. It's such an
Yeah.
unfair advantage to not wear heels. The only time when it's not an unfair advantage, I personally feel, is when you're doing a contemporary dance or like a lyrical dance, because you need flexed feet for those, and it just looks better. Like part of the choreography is like being free and earthy and movie,
Yeah.
so like that's a different type of dance in itself. But she did so good. She had a fear of heights. Okay, fine. She overcame it. Look at that. And I really do think she did a great job. I loved the set. I loved the choreography. I felt like it was fun. I felt like she looked good. Um, but I do feel like it's an unfair advantage.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when she came out, is that she was wearing like Converse, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, but besides that, I thought she did amazing. I love the choreo. She
Mhm.
gave energy, she gave
Yeah,
face, she didn't miss a step. Like, she she's in my top 3 right now.
she is. I loved the dance because it felt like I was transported into, a Mexican city or some sort of Latin city. And I was just like walking down the street, and all of a sudden I saw somebody, just like dancing, and like
Mhm.
somebody on the side playing, the drums out of trash cans or like whatever. Like
Yeah.
it just felt like really authentic. So yeah, I loved it. Did you see Jamie Lynn Spears clapping?
Uh-uh.
In the audience, she was like, I don't know, it was just a weird, like everybody else was like, yay, and she was like,
She has such an attitude. I don't know. There's something about her we'll get to her. We'll get to her.
It was just strange. It was just a strange moment that the camera caught.
She was probably just jealous because Sochi did so freaking good. And when the competition started, Jamie was like, well, I think my only competition is she's just, you could tell that she was trying to downplay it, but you could tell it that she thought she had it in the bag.
Yeah. So Sochi and Val, their salsa got straight 8. So that was the highest score so far. First 8s.
Yep.
So far in the competition. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but
didn't Charity get an 8 last week, which was ridiculous?
Oh yeah, you're right. Charity did get an 8 last week.
Yeah,
right, so I lied about that. But it was the first straight 8s.
Yeah,
8 of this night. Next was Ariana Maddox and Pasha. They did a samba. It was interesting. I feel like Ariana really knows where the cameras are.
Yeah.
Like she knows where the cameras are. But my only problem with the dance, I liked it. I thought she did great. And I loved that color on both of them. Their fringe, like 100 green outfits.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Tasty.
But I felt like the song or the dance rather never took off. Like maybe it's because the songs are still so short.
Yeah.
Because there's so many contestants still. But I just kept waiting for like the dance to get out of that like beginning setup sort of stage. And it felt like it just never took off choreography wise. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I loved the choreo. And she looked really sexy. And then I know like people like every time one of the judges give a critique, like people boo, and it's like, but these little critiques are good. That means you're in the competition.
Oh, yeah,
when they're giving you these tiny critiques, that means that they know you can do it and they want to see you succeed. And that's why they're giving you these like nitpicky. I would take nitpicky over generalization any freaking day if I was on that show.
Oh yeah, totally. I wanna know exactly what I need to fix.
Yeah, Carrie Ann was on something because I didn't agree. Usually Carrie Ann and I are pretty in sync, but there's always 1 or 2 nights where I'm just like,
what the hell are you talking about?
Because Carrie Ann gave Ariana a 6 and then she got 2 7s, and I'm just like, that was not a 6. Like compared to other people, like Ariana is in my top 3. She is going to be good, and even though I do think last week was better than this week, but I don't know if that's any fault of her own. I think a lot of it was music and whatever. But I did not agree with that 6. Thought that was very weird.
Yeah, she should have gotten at least straight 7s, I think.
Yeah, she should have got straight 7s.
All right, next was Mauricio and Emma. They did a salsa. That first move, the lift that they did was, or no, it wasn't a lift. He had her leg and she like went under.
I mean, so Emma's choreo can be really good.
Oh, Emma has some great choreo, but after that
first messed up.
I mean, he forgot the dance, Teal.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a mess up. It wasn't even like, oh, I went on the right foot and I was supposed to go on the left. Like he literally blacked out on stage.
Yeah.
So Emma was just like counting for her life, and then she even said, she's like, okay, let's clap, and they were just like.
Yeah, and you know what I love about Emma is like it seems so genuine that she didn't make him feel bad about it. Like she was like, yeah, like we went and we did salsa and we were freestyling and that's what we just did, and you could tell he felt really bad about messing up, and he didn't seem like he was embarrassed, but he just felt bad almost for Emma. And like I liked the judges were nice to him because sometimes you can sometimes tell who the judges really like and who they don't like because they gave him so much grace, and that wouldn't have happened for a lot of people. And they were like, it happens to all of us, it's fine. They were super sweet to him, probably because they probably thought he was going home. And so spoiler, he's not in the bottom 2, and like because he was in the bottom 2 last week.
And
they made him feel really good, which is nice because that is embarrassing to forget and somebody's probably worst nightmare. But it did reflect in his scores. He got straight fours, which was the lowest score
Yeah.
of the night. But America must have pulled on through because he wasn't in the bottom two this week.
Yep. He wasn't.
So
Yeah, you know, I
I'll give
love
him another
Emma.
chance, but because he is actually fun to watch, and I love Emma. I love Emma so much, and I love her choreography. So, um, it's gonna be time for him to go home soon. But I'm not upset that
He made it one
he's
more week.
that he made it one more week.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Next was Allison Hannigan and Sasha. They did the Outlier, a tango.
Yep.
I was disappointed. I felt like the audience, the judges loved it, but I thought the choreo was really safe and boring. And Sasha usually has a lot better choreography than that.
Yeah.
I hated the fringe table hat thing. What was the purpose of that?
Yeah. Okay, so I agree, but I disagree because well, the hat thing is neither here nor there.
Weird.
But this is what I'll say about her is I was so impressed with her because she danced like a completely different person from last week.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
was the choreography my favorite? No. Was her face like Carrie Ann was like, "You gave me woman," and I was like, I don't know. I think she's more of a comedian
Yeah.
actor than a serious
She never
actor.
took a breath. I felt like she was holding her breath the
Yeah,
entire time.
like she was so like there was no you can still be stoic and you can still have like intensity without having a stone face. Like
Exactly.
there's other emotions you could put into it within
Yeah.
that category because I just felt like like I felt like her face was just rock solid stone cold and I was just like, girl, calm, take a breath, take a breath.
Yeah.
But as far as her technique, I mean, last week was woof.
Yeah.
Last week she was stomping around. Like it was just weird. And I was so sad and disappointed. And this week, you know what? Like her whole body seemed just
Yes, I agree with that.
different.
She
So
definitely worked hard this week.
I don't think she deserved a 7. No offense.
Yeah.
I think it was a straight 6 dance.
I agree.
But in comparison to last week, wow.
Yeah.
Freaking wow.
Yeah,
So
she
I'm
did
really
improve a
excited
lot.
to see her. I'm really excited to see her next week because if she's gonna make a jump from that first week to this week,
What can she do next?
she seems like she is serious and I think she's gonna put in the work.
I think she's going to put in the work too. And Sasha's such a great teacher, and they do seem like they genuinely have a really good working partnership where they can have fun and be silly, but also get the work done.
Yep.
So, and I also loved her dress.
Oh, yes. I love Brady and I talked about that. Love the dress. She
Yeah.
got a 7.66. Like I said, I don't think she really should have got that 7. I think it should have been straight 6s, but I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next was Charity Lawson and Ezra.
Hi, Ezra.
Hi, Ezra. They did the cha-cha. Artem was out because he had COVID. That's still a thing that's happening. Ezra, I thought he did great. He's cute as a button.
Yep.
It felt like, you know, it just, to me, her dance felt like she was monkeying it. It felt like low energy, like it was dress rehearsal and they were just going through their steps instead of like, okay, it's time to perform.
Yep.
And also, like, I liked Ezra and I could tell that he was a great dancer and he probably seems like a great guy and all of that stuff. And I just didn't feel like there was any chemistry between them. But I also don't feel like there's any chemistry between her and Artem either. So,
yep,
there's been something with Artem is I don't feel like Artem is good at chemistry. I've never felt that way, even with the person who's now his wife. I saw that coming because they didn't seem like they had good chemistry. To this day,
no, I freaking agree. That's what I said is I was like, I didn't feel anything. I don't know. There was something missing. I thought she could use more hip action. She needs to be more with her partner. I loved her dress. I loved her dress, but once again, it feels like a Hannah Brown performance. It feels safe. I don't feel like I'm ever like I feel like she's already plateaued. I don't feel like I'm ever going to get anything new from her.
Yep.
And I'm not expecting it. I would be very surprised if I did. Um, it's not like she's actually surprisingly a better dancer. Like she's a good dancer.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the twinkle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't see her getting there with her partner. And she literally feels like a carbon copy of Hannah Brown to me.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
With you. She has straight sevens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bachelors always fall in the wayside to me because they just, like you said, they all sort of just. I don't know if it's like it's like a requisite for to like be a bachelor that goes on to Dancing with the Star, bachelorette that goes on to Dancing with the Stars, but like they all just flatline to me.
Yeah. Except for Gabby.
Except for Gabby, but even Gabby had a little flatliney. Like
Yeah, that's true.
like Charlie deserved to win that season.
Oh,
without a doubt.
Charlie deserved to win.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Gabby was the only bachelorette that I ever was like, oh, you could deserve this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Next was Harry Jowsey and Riley. They did salsa. I'm not quite sure what the toilet snake relates to Latin dance. That package was a little strange to me. Am I missing something here?
I don't know, Stevie. I don't know. I was just like, what's happening?
If anybody knows what that's about, please let me know. But he did do better. He did improve, but God, she still danced so hard around him. She is dancing for her life. And I'm like, baby, you got the job.
Yeah.
You have the job.
Yeah.
You got it. You won it, babe. Like, she just dances so hard around him. He was behind the beat a lot. But I will say that he did the steps.
You know, he did the steps. She danced around him. The choreo was cool. I mean, she obviously has a talent, and I know she's young. She's really young, and you know, she feels like she has to prove herself. But to me, and I think I said this last week, is the way she's going to prove herself is by being a good partner. And right now, I feel like she's selfishly dancing, and that's not what I want to see.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so,
all the young dancers.
yep. And so, yeah. So, like, I'm not discounting her because this is the pattern. Like, she's young. We've seen it with Brandon. We've seen it with, now I'm blanking on every single person that has ever performed, but, you know, you see it with those first timers because they really do have to fight for their life and their position because they want to, be on next season. You know, they want to have a job and they feel like they have to prove themselves because they're at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
But, babe, you can dance, you have good choreography, like you look aesthetically good with your partner. Now you need to focus on your partner and not worry about dancing around him because or you need to simplify something and make him look better and work to his strengths other than being able to like lift you because he's 6'7", you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But
And
he did look like he wasn't enjoying himself. Like he did look like he was enjoying himself and he was so much better like with like with his performance. Now he just needs to get the steps.
Yeah, he just needs to get the steps, get a little bit more finesse in there.
Mhm.
Next was Jamie Lynn and Alan. They did a cha-cha.
Harry and Riley got straight fives.
Oh yeah, Harry and Riley got straight fives. Deserved.
Yeah.
Deserved. Yeah, so Jamie Lynn and Alan did a cha-cha next. What did you think about it?
Ooh, the beginning was rough. She looked lost. She looked like, shit, where am I? What's happening?
And then
and then she kind of got like in the middle of it, then she kind of got into it, but I'm just not a fan. I feel and you know I kind of already went in with a bias. She's not like my favorite person. There's something about her that feels kind of shady and she kind of gives me the ick a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, I did try to give her the benefit of the doubt a little bit. Because I don't know who she is. we're not friends. I don't know who she is. She could be a great person, but through the TV screen, it just doesn't really read that way. She
Yeah,
seems kind of snooty. She seems kind of um like I don't know. There's just something about her that that gives me the ick.
yeah,
And I thought the beginning was really rough. I thought she looked lost. Um, I thought it was a straight 5 dance, but Carrie Ann gave her a 6. I don't know. She's like she feels really stocky. I do agree with Carrie Ann as she needs to like work on elongating herself because something about her feels almost like bottom of the pyramid cheerleader, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I just felt like she didn't have any hip action. She fucked up a couple of steps, like steps were
Yeah.
fucked up. It seemed very reserved. There was no performance. They're counting, you know. And also I just didn't think that dress was that flattering on her.
Oh, that's it. Brady and I said that. We were just like, why? They kind of did her dirty
Dress
because
is
that,
dirty.
yeah, they did her dirty.
Yeah, because here's the thing is Jamie Lynn is shorter and like broader shouldered
And
and
she doesn't have a
has
long
as
torso.
long of a neck. Like she already has a disadvantage against her because she doesn't have the traditional dancer's body, which is tall, leggy, thin, whatever. So she does have to work. People like that, do have to work harder on elongating their neck and making it look longer and making their torso look longer. And that dress did not do that for her, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no, it it was not a good dance. I think it deserves straight 5s too. Carrie Ann, I don't know, threw a bone, whatever. So Carrie Ann gave her a 6, 5 and 5 from Derek and Bruno.
Hmm.
All right, last but not least, Jason Mraz and
Jason,
Daniela. They did another outlier. They did the rumba, but
which is my favorite.
the camera choreography was really cool. He had nice lines. He was into it. That lunge that he did was
Mm.
really long and elegant.
I
Um,
mean, the whole entire time I was comparing him to James Hinchcliffe.
uh-huh.
And they had a lot of I mean, obviously, James Hinchcliffe's and Sharna's rumba is one of my favorite dances
Yeah.
in the whole entire world. So it it was almost there. I just like I don't know, there was just something about James and
And the
Sharna
song
where
was
that
really
dance.
good, and the
But
costumes
I
were really
will say the rumba is my favorite, and it's only week 2, and I like when they do the rumba like a little bit later on in the season.
yeah.
Um, just I don't know. So I feel like it was a little bit of a disservice because I would have loved to see him after he really does hone in his skills a little bit more,
Mhm.
but he did a freaking amazing. I mean, he is my number 1. He is the one who I want to
Oh,
win
to
this
win.
competition, at least
Yeah.
right now.
Well, Carrie Ann said it best. It was ooey, 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 juby, juju. That's what she said. And I agree with her. Whatever that means, I agree with it.
Yeah, it
Um,
feels right.
it feels right. It was ooey, 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 juby, juju. Whatever she said. Oh, that was funny. But
I mean, he got straight 8, so he was
that's
with
it.
Sochi.
Yep, so he's with Sochi. Yep, so let's get right into it. No more judges saved, so it's up to the American public. Bottom 3 was Jamie Lynn, Adrian, and Mauricio. Bottom 2 was,
But was Mauricio in the bottom 3, or was he just the last one called?
well, I mean, they were in the bottom. He was the last one called, but that was the bottom 3.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's in the bottom.
No, I know, but those were the last 3 people on stage.
Correct, yeah.
Um,
So
so
I
then,
was surprised when they said Mauricio was safe because
it's a
like we just said, like that doesn't mean that maybe he was in the bottom 3 and he's still just right there, but he could have jumped up and somebody else could have been in
yeah,
the bottom. So who knows? Like Brady was like, I wish that they would give us like people in order. And I was like, yeah, but then I was thinking about it and I was like, no, I kind of like not knowing
yeah,
who's in like in that order because it keeps it kind of fresh and you never know who's going to win that competition. You never know how many votes they have from the American peoples.
yeah. No, I
Um,
wouldn't like for them to go down first to last because then you're probably always, for the most part, going to have the same like 2 or 3 people at top.
yeah,
No, I disagree with that.
yeah.
So bottom 2. So they said Mauricio's name, and we were all like, and I'm sure America too was like, what?
Hmm.
And bottom 2 was Jamie and Adrian.
And now it makes more sense that Adrian was in the bottom now that you tell me about. I wonder how many people that are fans of Dancing with the Stars listen to that podcast.
True. I don't
And
know.
they were like, oh, we're not going to vote for Adrian. We don't think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Because I
Oh,
was
and
surprised he was in
that's
the
why they did
bottom.
his package. They did the whole package about him with his baby and his daughter, and they were like, "Look, he's such a great father."
Yeah, you're right.
The world is shady, man. The world is shady.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow.
so then Adrian was saved, and Jamie Lynn and Alan went home. Was I expecting this? No, not week 2. I did not think Jamie Lynn, despite how I feel about her, how she dances, I did not think she was going home on week 2.
I didn't think so either. I thought she would make it for at least like 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, listen, I'm not sad to see her go.
No.
So, bye, adios, amigo.
I
But
feel a little bad for Alan, but
I feel bad for Alan too, but people don't like Jamie Lynn Spears. I was surprised that she got, I mean, I don't know how many votes she got last week, but people like, as a principal, don't like
mhm,
Jamie Lynn.
yeah.
I can't imagine that she has a huge fan base. And then I do feel like she had the worst attitude, no matter who she is, out of everybody on stage. And you see that, you know? So,
It was so awkward when they're like, "What do you wanna say to Alan?" And she was just like, "Thank you." And then they were just kind of an awkward pause, and then I don't know, like, I could tell, like, I just felt like she was angry, and I mean, yeah, like, if I was voted off week 2, I'd be angry too, like, you just wanna be there. We've always said, it doesn't matter if we win, you just wanna get to those freestyles and be in the competition the whole entire time because it's fun and you wanna do all the dances and you
yeah,
wanna be there every single week.
yeah.
So,
So, I don't
it
know.
is d I don't think dance-wise, I don't think she necessarily deserved to go home, but I don't know, there's just something about her, like, I think the competition might be lighter and more
Yeah,
fun now that she's not there.
I
I don't know,
agree.
she just always had this, like, smugness about her, and maybe that's just her face, she kinda has that, bulldog downturned,
Yeah.
whatever, but which isn't her fault, that's just genetics. It was weird seeing, like, because her and Britney Spears are almost, like, mirror images of each other.
Yeah.
So it was
And their
weird kind
mom
of seeing.
too.
What?
Their mother,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
Um, yeah, so Jamie and Alan got voted off. I'm not I'm not disappointed, but I am a little shocked. Um, but whatever, I enjoy seeing Mauricio dance more, and I love Brit so much. I mean, love Alan, but I really love Brit, so
Yeah.
we'll keep him. But if those allegations and are true, which I guess they are, I don't know, that just changes my mind completely about Adrian and kinda gives me the ick.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
Britney's sake, like, I want Britney to, like, be in the competition, but if Britney is uncomfortable with her partner, like, let's save her, like, get her out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Let her go home to Daniel.
I know. Ooh. Yeah, I'm excited. Next week is Motown. The week after that is Disney. And
Disney
then
100.
I think the week after that has to be Halloween, no?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the week after that. I don't know, but Halloween night's coming up soon, and I
Yeah,
love Halloween
because
nights.
I feel
And
like they
Halloween night's
always
gonna
do
happen
Disney.
on Halloween.
Halloween is happening on Halloween?
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure Halloween's on a Tuesday and Dancing with the Stars is on a Tuesday.
Oh, I guess I
So
have
that'll
to look. I don't even know what I mean, I know when Halloween is, but I don't know what day it falls on.
Tuesday.
Um,
I'm gonna be sure
Tuesday.
on
Ooh.
Tuesday.
Because here's the thing is like, sometimes they do this is they do Disney night and then it's Halloween night, and so it's 2 back-to-back nights of just, like, costumes,
Yeah.
and you're just like,
Yeah.
"Ah." Where it would almost be better if they spread that out because Disney is so Halloween-esque.
Yeah.
In the
In a
sense
sense,
of,
you're right.
there's always I don't wanna say cheesy costumes, but there's always the cheesy costumes.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know, you have that, and then you have Disney night, and then you have Halloween. Sometimes it's just a lot, but I hope on Halloween we get a good, you know how I love when they do Toxic, any version.
You know they're gonna do Toxic. I would
Yeah.
be beside myself if they didn't do that, give that song to somebody, like a cool, awesome.
I just had this, like, I don't know if they'll do it week 3, but I just had this vision all of a sudden, I don't know why, that next week, Charity is gonna get, like, a freestyle or something, or, like, a jazz or something easy, and and everybody else is gonna get something hard, and I'm gonna be really mad.
Okay, well, let's see if that comes to fruition, that prediction.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, so my
Yeah.
top 3 right now, I think in this order are Ariana, Sochi.
I agree.
So those are my top 3 right now, and I think they're the best contenders, and they're kind of on that same playing field where everybody else is kind of on a different playing field, but it could change every single week, but I think
Yeah.
Jason is my favorite.
I think Jason, I think that he could definitely win the Mirror Ball.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yay!
Yay. Okay, well, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We can't wait to see you next week. Let us know how you felt about Latin Night, and we look forward to talking to you in the comments below. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, Tealy.
Love you, Steven. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Eggs and bacon.